Hello and welcome to a brand new bakkie which is available on the South African market. It is the latest generation of the Mitsubishi Triton and it is completely new. But the keen-eyed among you may have noticed that this Triton looks a lot like the Fiat Fullback, and that's because they are exactly the same car. But where the Fiat makes do with an older generation 2.5-litre turbo diesel, this Triton has a brand new 2.4-litre turbo diesel. And Mitsubishi is really hoping that you will like this 2.4-litre engine because it's the only one that they'll sell you. It's an all-aluminium block, so it's significantly lighter and significantly more powerful than the engine it replaces. With 133 kilowatts of power and 430 Newton meters of torque, those figures actually closely rival the 2.8-litre engine in the Hilux, with a bit more power but a bit less torque than its Japanese arch rival. What I like about this engine is that it is noticeably quiet. It's not as grumbly as some bakkie engines can be. And it is quite fuel efficient. Mitsubishi claims 7.6 litres to the 100, and I'm achieving around 9 litres. And I'm pretty sure you could get that figure down with some careful driving. And it is happy to cruise along at highway speeds, but maybe in lower speeds, the engine just lacks a little bit of punch. I mean, if I put my foot down up this hill, that's not bad, but it just doesn't have the urgency of engines like the 2.8 litre in the new Toyota Hilux. Where the new Triton does excel, however, is ride quality. It's a really smooth ride, very comfortable. A little bit jittery over the worst bumps on the road, but most bakkies are, and you can thank their rear leaf suspension for that. However, I haven't taken it on a gravel road yet, so let's see how it copes with that. Right, I am officially on a gravel road now, and this might look a bit bumpy on camera, but I'm pretty comfortable. It's quite a badly rutted road, but the Triton isn't crashy at all. It's actually dealing with these bumps very well. Yeah, I think this is the sort of car where if you had to cover long distances on gravel, you'd be pretty pleased. Oh wow, look at this dam. The interior is a no-fuss affair, and compared to cars like the new Hilux and the Ford Ranger, it might seem a bit too stripped down, but there are many features as standard. Cruise control, steering wheel controls, climate control, a rear view camera, a touchscreen infotainment system, Bluetooth, a USB port, and motorized wing mirrors which close when you lock the car. Now, I must point out that the infotainment system is quite old now, and aesthetically, it's very far behind the competition, although it is quite easy to use. And it does remind me of devices I had as a kid where the Japanese was poorly translated into English. So when you want to connect a new Bluetooth device, it says, beginning the registration of the Bluetooth device, which is interesting. Down here is the knob where you control Mitsubishi's Super Select 4-wheel drive system. Now it has little icons telling you which mode you're in, and it says LC for locked center diff. And you control the rear diff over here for very tricky off-road situations. down at the business end of the bakkie, and we find a load bay which is really tall, but it can cope with just over a ton of your stuff. And if you have a tow bar fitted, well, then you'll be able to tow things. But how much those things weigh is up for debate. According to Mitsubishi's own spec sheet, the Triton can tow up to 1.5 tons of a braked trailer, but that just doesn't sound right. And I read on an Australian website that the Triton can tow up to 3 tons, and that puts it in line with the Toyota Hilux and the Ford Ranger. Mitsubishi have done a good job with the back seats. The backrest is at a comfortable angle, there's ISOFIX child seat mounts, and I've got a good amount of knee room. So I reckon adults will be pretty comfortable on long journeys. Let's have a chat about pricing. For this top spec 2.4 DID 4x4 auto model, you will have to part with 559,000 Rand. And that compares favorably to the top spec Hilux, which is about 570,000, and the top spec Ford Ranger Wildtrak, which is about 616,000 Rand. Yeesh, this segment is getting expensive. I think this Triton represents a nice balance between being a workhorse and being an everyday sort of vehicle. I think it fits into the market somewhere between the Isuzu KB and the Toyota Hilux and Ford Ranger. And while the interior may appear a bit down market and a bit sparse compared to the Ford and the Toyota, it's actually very well spec'd. It'll carry a good load on the back, and it's comfortable enough for you to use every single day. It depends on what sort of deals the dealers are able to put on the table, but I have a feeling that Mitsubishi might be able to steal a good couple of buyers away from established players like the Toyota and the Fords.